So guys, it is a beautiful 41 degrees outside in December, and we're gonna get to a project that I've been wanting to do for a long time that really shouldn't be too challenging whatsoever, but for me was important. And you can see the part there on the ground in front of me that we're gonna be replacing. It is the crash bar for the front bumper. I pulled this off of a recent trip to a salvage yard about 2 hours away from me for 30 bucks. And it's in great condition. Surprisingly, these crash bars are really hard to find on 3rd gen 4Runners in salvage yards, or at least it has been for me. By the time I get there, the bumper's been pulled, the crash bar came with it. So I guess it kind of makes sense. Many people are wanting to replace the front end from either damage or collision. So today we're gonna get after swapping this over. Hopefully it'll be simple. My plan is to do it without removing the front bumper. And I'm gonna take you guys along the ride with me. All right, let's go. All right, so we're gonna start on the driver's side by loosening all of our bolts here. Now for this top bolt, I'm gonna slide my hand here in between the skid plate and the bumper and just pull down here to loosen this one up. Nice and easy. So now that we've gotten this one worked, we're gonna go ahead and take it out all the way. So before we remove the bolts on the driver's side, I'm gonna go ahead and start loosening these up on the passenger side. We're gonna get these loose, take the top one out, and then we'll finish by removing the bottom bolts on both the passenger and the driver's side. All right, same route here, guys. We're gonna go in between the skid plate, and on this side, we're gonna have to push up to loosen this bolt up. This one was definitely a tougher angle, but I wiggled my way essentially underneath the skid plate, and that's how I got it with my left hand. All right, so let's get going. Well, guys, looks like I forgot a couple of bolts. There's actually going to be this one side support bolt on the passenger and driver side before we can release our crash bar. So let's go ahead and get these removed. I just forgot about them, to be honest with you. So now that we have all 8 bolts loosened, I wanted to show you guys this hook right here. You're gonna have this hook. It's on the top portion of this crash bar and essentially holds it in place. So what you're gonna need to do is push up on the crash bar just like that to relieve that hook, and then pull it out and then down. And that will essentially free it up and allow you to pull the crash bar out. All right, so we've got the pressure relieved on the passenger side. We're gonna push up and relieve the pressure on the driver's side. And I'm gonna have to push a little bit on my bumper skin here on both sides to be able to pull it out. All right, there we go. Let's compare old versus new to me. All right, so my old crash bar is at the bottom here, and it might be tough to see from this view. We'll try to get a better view for you guys, but you can see right there where the impact occurred. And then also, if we go lower here, you can see that my current crash bar is definitely not the way it should be, right? I mean, look at that lean to the left. So, you know, structural integrity and just safety, and also kind of a side part that's really not all that important. But the bumper skin on our 4Runners has these 2 plastic tabs that use these locations here to bolt and hold in. And since my crash bar was quite clearly pushed back, I couldn't ever use those bolt locations to adhere my front bumper skin, and I have these 2 little tabs hanging down, and just kind of annoys me. So we're gonna fix that too. I'll show you what those tabs look like. There's tab 1 and there's tab 2. And like I said, these tabs just push up and the bolt goes through there into that crash bar. So now I won't have to look at these things hanging down all the time. And I'm OCD, so I like that. And it's the way it should be. I like that too. All right, so we're back underneath, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this placement screw here for this bottom little bump out piece on the passenger side of your bumper. Looks like that. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because I want that travel room right here as I put the crash bar back in. So we're gonna work on setting the driver's side first, and a little bit of force here. All right. There we go. And we'll just have to rotate it a bit here. There we are. Nice. Perfect. So let's get these tabs pulled out. Yeah. Much better. Awesome. All right, so everything's good here. It's lined up. And before we put the bolts back in, we're gonna go clean those bolt threads off with wire brush and get the rust off of them so that they can last a little bit longer and not rust out. All right, so installation is obviously just the reverse here. We're gonna start on this side bolt location. I'm gonna get it threaded in, leave it somewhat loose so that I have that travel. And that's so that I know I can get the rest of my bolts seated in the appropriate location. This one right here was a little tough to take out, so I'm expecting it might be a little tough to thread in. As you're on your final thread here, you want to make sure that these two plates on the bottom here align on the crash bar and the bracket before you tighten it up. All right, before we put in the top bolt, I'm gonna go ahead and go over to the driver's side and complete the rest of the steps, just like this side over there. All right, now on the passenger side, our final bolt here is on the top side of the passenger side. All right, last but not least, we are going to put this 12mm bolt up here into the crash bar to hold this tab in place on the bumper skin. Unfortunately, I've only been able to locate one of these such bolts. So we're gonna have to source another one either online or in a junkyard before I screw in the passenger side. But I wanted to show you guys what it's supposed to look like and what I haven't had in years. There we go. Nice and tucked away. And we cannot forget to place this little piece back onto our bumper. Just got to make sure that it seats in there. There's these little tabs on the back. And they kind of hook into place. There we go. All right, that's good. And we'll take our screw here and screw it back into place. There we are. So guys, there we go. It is replaced, and peace of mind is much better because God forbid I ever happen to get into another front-end collision or somebody else makes a mistake on the road and hits me. The last thing you want is a compromised crash bar on the front bumper of your vehicle. So for only $30 and about 30 minutes to an hour worth of my time, I was able to replace this. And I appreciate you guys coming along with me for the journey. As always, thanks so much for your likes and your subscriptions and your comments, and we'll see you on the next project.